I want to tell you about another community of practice of ours, one called the South African Extraordinary Schools Coalition. This is a group of schools that are all providing either low-cost or no-cost learning to learners from poor socioeconomic backgrounds, and all achieving high results with this work. There's some particular innovations that this community of practice has developed. The one is it's developed a school peer review, which is not supposed to be punitive, it's supposed to be developmental, where principals and teachers go into each other's schools and look at what's happening in the schools. They identify what's working, they identify areas that need to be remediated, they reflect, and they also learn through the process. It's been very interesting for us that evaluations have shown that reviewers receive as much benefit from this as those reviewed. But off the back of the school peer review, this particular community of practice has developed a school improvement planning process that looks at the areas identified for remediation and improvement in the school peer review and builds that into a school improvement planning process to ensure that the school peer review leads somewhere impactful. The learning here with this community of practice, again, is that collective or peer support is the catalyst for individual empowerment. So I'm repeating that learning. Across two different communities of practice, we're seeing that individual improvement happens within the context of group learning. The bridge model is a model, therefore, that looks at the community of practice as the center of the theory of change, working with a group of school principals, focusing on how whole school improvement can take place, and actually working with the areas that are identified in the whole school evaluation in the system. And ensuring that it's in the context in which the principals operate, and it's within the context of national and provincial policy that this work is done. So, finally, what it is that we're doing now with Bridge and with our communities of practice is we're ensuring a combined approach. So we're working with communities of practice. So these are monthly meetings with groups of principals. We built into it the idea of the school peer review, the visiting of each other's schools. So members of the community of practice go into each other's schools and learn from each other and are able to develop their school improvement plans out of that. Built into that is also the idea of mentorship. So this is not about bringing in a mentor from business or from the outside world. This is about peers mentoring each other, talking to each other about what's happening in their schools and providing each other with a reflective sounding board. And then finally, we've also built, to go with this, a course. It's a practice-based course. It's one that's been endorsed and accredited by SAESC. It leads to professional development points. The focus of the course is on what's happening at the level of practice. So the involvement in a community of practice and the undertaking of joint tasks as a group of practitioners is what leads to the gaining of professional development recognition from SAESC. So that's the bridge model, and I'd happily take any questions from you about that.